Hey you guys, what's poppin'? It's your homie Mexicana Martita, and this is Sober Saturdays. Let's get to it. So with Sober Saturdays, this is going to be the first introductory video of what Sober Saturdays is and what it's going to be about, just kind of like a layout, just so you guys can get to know who I am, what I'm doing here, and what Sober Saturdays is about. To start off, my name is Marta, double R, but family and friends call me Martita, so that's why I go by that, and you are free to call me that, or whichever way you want to go. And I've been sober for 1 year and 3 months. On the 20th of this month, which is September, I will be sober for 1 year and 4 months, and I'm very happy to be able to say that and be able to share my experience, share this journey along with you guys if you want to be involved with it, because it wasn't an easy one. It is not an easy one because I deal with it every single day of my life. It doesn't go away because addiction is a disease. And that's why I wanted to start Sober Saturdays with you guys, because I want you guys to not only get a look at what I went through, because I am going to be talking about my experiences with my addiction, which was alcohol. I also want to incorporate how I can help you guys, how you can help yourselves, what helped me, because I know when you're in active addiction, you don't really know how to quit, but you know you want to. You don't know who to go to because you've been in addiction your whole life, that you don't know what the hell to do to get out. And I think a lot of what complicates addiction and trying to get out of it is the people around you, because you're so used to people thinking that you're an addict and having little faith in you along with you having little faith in yourself. Because in my case, I've tried to get clean 3 or 4 times before this time, and a lot of people that I consider close to me, I guess, in a way, including my father and friends, all lost faith in me, and they said I would never get out of it and things like that. So it made it a lot more difficult for me to actually want to, but in the end I decided to do it for myself, to get clean for myself, because a lot of things happened in this journey of addiction that I probably wouldn't be here by now, if we're being honest. If I kept in active addiction since the age of 15, when I first started, if I kept at it, I probably would be 6 feet underground, and that's straight up. And that's sad. That's sad because a lot of addicts don't know where to start, what to do, if they should quit cold turkey, if they should quit by leaning off of it. Leaning off of it is, in my opinion, one of the hardest ways to do it, because you still have that percentage of relapsing, and you either relapse hard or I don't know, there's no going back. But some people, that's what helps them. For me, what helped was quitting cold turkey, and I'm going to be talking about that too, because my God, those were the worst 2 months of my life, quitting cold turkey, because it did take me around 2 to 3 months to get my body back into not normal status, but at least functioning status. So I'm also gonna be talking about that. This first video is just an intro, a get to know me type of video, and why I'm making Sober Saturdays. But I feel like what's motivating me to make Sober Saturdays is the fact that when I first quit, decided to quit, I was alone. Aside from my mom being there throughout the whole addiction and now sobriety process, we didn't know what the hell to do. We didn't know who to go to, where to go, what was next. You quit your addiction that you've been addicted for so long that you're kind of in shock. I know for a damn fact my body was in shock, and she was also struggling because she's seen me through my active addiction since I was 15. And now I'm saying I want to get sober for the third, fourth time, and she's trying to figure out if this is really going to be straight up. She doesn't trust me, and she doesn't have a backbone from her husband, who's my father, so that's depressing her even more. So it's just a whole freaking mess where we didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to help me. She didn't trust me. She didn't believe that I was gonna get clean, which is understandable. It does hurt you as an addict to finally want to get clean, like stop in life, stop numbing yourself out to the raw reality that we have as a life that can be freaking nice as when you let yourself be open to the world, right? But we're so incorporated in that numbness that we kind of don't want to open ourselves to the world. We're kind of like, I can't function without my substance of choice, but you can. And that's what was so scary, and so scary to realize and to push myself to finally get clean. And basically, this is going to be Sober Saturdays for people who, like me, either had family members or friends, because they're not really your friends if they're not trying to help you or push you out of that addiction. Even though we have some good friends who do push you in this addiction, who are like, hey, wake up, this is not a life for you, you're just throwing it away. Those are the friends that you stick with, because even though they're tired of your shit, they're still there, they're still trying to help you out. But I'm talking about people who bring you down when you're trying to get out, who doubt you when you say that you're gonna get clean for the 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever time you're at, and they're like, no, you're not, you're just gonna relapse. You're gonna be clean for 3 days, 3 weeks, 4 months, whatever, and you're gonna relapse because they have no faith in you, because this is like your 10th time getting clean or trying to. I'm talking about those people who quit cold turkey like I did and didn't know where the hell to go, and I felt alone. Aside from my mom being there, she never left my side, and of course God never left my side either. But I felt alone in the perspective of me being an addict and not knowing what the hell to do, is what I'm trying to get at. So we have people who are in our lives who say things without, well, they might be thinking they're just tired of our who, instead of being positive and trying to help you out in that situation, in that rut that you're in, they just give up on you when you're feeling alone because you don't know what the next step in the sobriety that you want and how you keep inactive sobriety. Because a lot of people, for instance, for an example, my second or third time that I got sober, I was clean for 5 months, but what was so difficult for me was the fact that I didn't try to reach out to, I tried to reach out to AA, but AA here in Flagstaff is so weird, like so difficult. I'm always the person who likes in-person meetings, in-person appointments, in-person everything, because it doesn't help that I have social anxiety and sometimes my brain just doesn't function and doesn't want to go through phone freaking Zoom meetings or phone appointments and that type of I like being in person and I like seeing people face to face, and sometimes where I live internet isn't so good, so it left me basically lost. So I was in my 5-month sobriety journey at that time, and this was my second or third time. It isn't the one that I'm on now. And I didn't push myself enough to keep on my sobriety. I didn't find people who could help me, who would help me, and I was very lost. But also it was also my fault because I didn't research enough for my own self, for my own being. And it's why I relapsed again. I didn't leave my old friendships that would party every single night. I didn't leave where I was living. I didn't change a lot of things in my life at that time, which also is a main part in why I relapsed. And it was one of the most devastating blows in my life, aside from other ones that happened. But I relapsed and I said, this is gonna be me forever. I just didn't want to even deal with sobriety, and things got even more difficult. So that's why I'm bringing this up, because there are people who do the sober thing for a while, for 5 months. Me, the third or second time, and you don't know, you're just floating in space. You don't know what's next. You're not finding things to do for yourself because you're so used to the habits of alcohol or any substance. You're so used to the habits of your substance of choice to abuse that you're like, what the hell do I do now? And you relapse because you're so used to it. You go back to your old ways, and that's why it's very difficult for people to get out of addiction in that sense. So now we have those things going on that I talked about, where you have negative people in your life that have no faith in you, and you feel alone, so you relapse. And then you have the fact that you're so used to your habits and you're a couple of months sober, but you don't know what the hell to do with your life because this is the first or couple of times that you've been sober and you don't feel anything changing, so you relapse. And then we have a third instance where you don't have the resources to get sober, you don't have money to get sober. Even if you wanted to, you are basically completely in the sense of money and resources because they're so damn expensive. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them are. And you relapse. You're sober a couple of days, you're wanting to start a new life. You relapse because all the resources that you're trying to get at just are too expensive for you. You don't have money. You're trying to get a job because with your open addiction that you had, you burned all your bridges with the jobs that you were getting. So now you're jobless. You're stressed out because your resources to stay on your sobriety path are very limited. And you relapse. And that is probably why I relapsed the second time, because it's also something I'll be getting into in the following videos, but it is something why we relapse as well, because we decide to be numbed out to the world, to follow our habits that we've been in for so long, that every little not tragedy, but every little stone that gets thrown at us, whether we lose a job or we don't have enough resources for that, is a trigger, especially for some of us who trigger very easily. And it's very sad to see that here in America, being an active addiction is seen as not normal, but they're basically like, forget them, they're an active addiction. If they want to get help, alright, but we're gonna charge them like $1,000 for a freaking consultation, unless they go to AA. And that's where AA and NA come in. This would be the fourth situation I got going on, that I'm also going to be talking about. I, in this journey, this 1 year and 3 months sober journey that I've been on, I looked into AA, and how I said AA was not a choice for me because it was so freaking difficult to contact or get into in Flagstaff. So I started to feel frustrated and like I was gonna relapse because I thought AA was the only answer for me, because rehab, for like the 90-day rehab, I didn't have enough money for it. I didn't have access either. I didn't have insurance. I didn't have anything to help me to go into rehab for those 90 days. So I felt, in the back of my mind, I felt like I was going to relapse. And I was scared shitless because I didn't want to relapse. I didn't want to go back to the hole that I dug myself into. And I was grasping at straws. I was frustrated. And the only thing I did that I could do was pray. And I found my people that are like my little group. Well, I have 2 separate groups, but they are the ones who helped me. And it's where I saw that thank God I wasn't the only one. And I know it's kind of difficult for people to accept it when they don't feel like AA and NA are good for them, in a sense where it helps in one way, but it doesn't help in the way that you need to be helped. Is what I felt and what a lot of people in my groups, which I'm also going to be talking about, said. Because a lot of them said they were in AA or in NA and it just wasn't for them. They joined AA and NA a couple of times and relapsed soon after, before finding the group that we were all in now. Which is what I'm trying to say, is that you might feel like NA and AA are not your cup of tea, don't fit your sobriety journey, but sorry, I'm popping my knuckles. But it isn't the end of the world. There's other resources that are affordable, like this channel that I'm going to be helping as much as I can. And there are groups and people who can help you, and you won't relapse. And even if you do, it's not going to be the end of the world, because you have a community behind you that is going to be there for you. And this is why I want to do Sober Saturdays with you guys, because resources are limited for a lot of us as addicts when we're first getting out. People are not the nicest to addicts, especially people in your family, people close to you. Money is very tight. And you're also very clueless on what the next step of your journey should be. But there are ways to get out, and life is a lot better sober. I will tell you that. There's some days, but it's not all bad. There's some really, really nice days too. And this is why I want to welcome you guys to Sober Saturdays, and to what I'm starting into, which is my project of raw sobriety. And I hope you guys stick around, and hopefully you find some helpful things. And also, I'm always gonna be here 120% for anybody who needs it, whether it's substance abuse or any other type of addiction you have. Because it isn't just substances that we're addicted to. We also have food. We have significant others who are really violent towards us. Or we have other addictions. It can be different addictions. It doesn't all just have to be substances. But all I want you guys to know is that you're not alone. This is why I'm starting Sober Saturdays with you guys. And if you guys want to be a part of my project, Raw Sobriety, you're more than welcome in. And we're going to keep hustling. We're going to keep working hard, because sobriety is the best way to go. And it's difficult. It's hard. But you're not alone. I'm here, and we're gonna have multiple people with us in this journey. And you're gonna see that even when life gets difficult, it'll only get difficult for a while. And you don't need to be in that active addiction, because this is why we're starting something new. Because we're going to make changes into our life. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But we're all warriors, and we can all do this. Okay? And I hope that this video, I don't know if it's going to be long or short, and my voice is a little raspy because my voice just sucks. So I'm sorry if the audio quality was bad, and I have my fan going on, and my mom's doing project in her other room, so you might get background noises, so I'm sorry. But let's do this. Let's start this journey. And we're gonna kick ass. And hopefully on the next video, I will be talking more about my journey with alcohol and all the stuff that I did that happened throughout active addiction, because a lot of people don't like talking about it, don't like talking about what the hell they do in active addiction, but that's why I'm here, to be real with you guys. That's why it's called Raw Sobriety, because we're gonna be nothing but raw. And we're gonna start also talking about what's helped me and some steps to better you as a person, as a being, because you matter. You matter, and your sobriety matters. And if people want to stop you, and if your mind wants to stop you, because the mind is a hell of a mother flower, we're gonna fight, and we're gonna fight hard against it all, because you deserve a shot at life in raw sobriety. Martita out.
Psych!
I forgot to do an outro for the video. I got a little sentimental, so I'm filming it now. But don't forget to follow me on all social media. It's gonna be right here. And don't be afraid to message me on any social media. I'm more active on Instagram, but Instagram and Snapchat. But don't be afraid, or don't be shy. I'm gonna message you back, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen to you. I'm here to be there for you. And also, I am not a certified person of anything. This is just me helping out those people that need help and that feel like nobody's there for them, because I'm here for you. I'm here for you, and we're gonna work through this together. Together forever. Okay? Now, Martita out. See you next Saturday. Bye.